everybody, I'm so excited today. We're going to do a top 10 list. We're going to talk about some of my favorite couples in all of nerdiness. So this is kind of like our little very late Valentine's Day fun little, who's good in romance and who's absolute fucking trash. Well, we'll talk about the trash in another video. This is going to be just the ones I like. And then we're going to talk a whole bunch of shit in the other one. Just remember, these are my opinions. They're what I think makes a good couple. You do not have to agree with me. They're my opinions, which are like assholes, which everybody has one. So I'm going to show you my proverbial asshole on what couples I like. I have it listed on my computer because otherwise I would forget it. Okay, good couples. Let's start with Rogue and Gambit. Ooh, the sexiest couple in Marvel, if you ask me. I love them. I love the way that Gambit is totally on board with the fact that she can't touch him, and he's just still, there's kind of a mystery about it. Maybe that's what intrigues him. But the fact that he's willing to do that, which is something that a lot of femme bodies, they feel from different times in their relationship that, they don't want to be touched, or maybe they're not feeling amorous and they feel like they still need to do that. So seeing that kind of reflected in a masculine character that doesn't want that is very appealing. And Rogue is just totally badass on her own. So anybody that's, kind of willing to not want to tame her in any way, which Gambit, I feel, doesn't. He loves the free, wild creature that she is. So they're one of my favorite couples. Number 2, and these are not particularly in order. They're just the couples I think rock. So putting them in order seems silly because they all rock for different reasons. And, I might change who's at the top from day to day. But Batman and Catwoman is the next one I want to talk about. And I know they have been problematic. I know they don't always work. But they're one of the couples I think in that kind of universe where nobody really works for anybody. They seem to have this understanding. She doesn't really want to give up who she is. And there are times where Bruce wants to change that, or wants her to not be a criminal and stuff like that. But he's also still very, he's in love with who she is, even if that's not necessarily a good person. And not to the extreme of Catwoman, but I think that that's something that is a familiar feeling to a lot of femme bodies is, for all their faults, they still want to be cared for, because many of us think we have very many. So seeing that, I think, is important in a couple, and that's why I think they work. So the next one is totally just one of my ships. It's not really anything that's been a couple in comics, so you can disagree. But a couple I would like to see, have read fanfic for, have written fanfic for, that I think would work very well in comics is Harley Quinn and Jason Todd. I know, process it, think through, remember that you can turn the video off at this point, or you can like and subscribe because you also agree. Part of the reason I like Harley and Jason Todd is, one, you get Harley away from the Joker because trash, fucking trash, and not a couple that we're going to support. No. But we like that Harley's kind of crazy. We like that she has this edge to her. We still like that. Jason Todd, I think, one, super damaged, could use a fucking therapist. I know you're not supposed to date your therapist, but for this, I think that would be kind of fun. And it could be very healing to both of them. Both of them have kind of this, and we'll be real, it'd be trauma bonding. It's not a forever relationship. It's just a thing I think would be great. Fine. It's gonna be fine. But the way that they could interact, and the way that I think they could heal one another and also have an understanding of the other that nobody else really has, I think could be very interesting to explore. Also, it would be way better than that time they had Harley fuck Dick Grayson in that movie, which was also trash. Fucking trash. Harley doesn't need to fuck everybody. Jesus fucking Christ. The next one is maybe a little unpopular opinion, but it's Sailor Moon, Usagi, and Seiya from the Starlights. Sailor Moon Season 5. If you haven't watched it because you've only seen Crystal, you need to watch it. It will change your life. It's fucking wonderful. But Seiya loves Usagi. And I think I've talked about this before, and if you haven't heard me, I definitely rant about it as often as I can. Seiya is in love with Usagi, and not Sailor Moon, not Princess Serenity, not all these other things. He's in love with the person that, or maybe Seiya would be considered they. I'm not going to have my pronouns right on that, so I would also love your input. But Seiya loves Usagi. Seiya loves that Usagi is this person, this clumsy, silly, weird person, and loves that. And that's a feeling that I think is worth connecting to and makes a good couple. And ultimately, you know, she goes back to gross tuxedo mask, and we're not here for it, but it is what it is. I disagree. Yeah, Seiya, I think, is a much better match for loving the person, loving that person here in the now, who they are, not who they were, not who they will be, but who they are right now. And that's, we can all want that, ask for that. Then we have Mortician Gomez, another easy win, obviously. You know, Mortician Gomez functions so well as a couple, as being understanding of tackling problems together. They're there for each other in a way that is beautiful, and what more do I have to say? It's so obvious. They are a wonderful couple, one that, you know what, we'll talk about it a little bit more. They play, they have little hints of their like sexual life, so you know that they're still active, and they kind of put time and energy and attraction into each other. They play with each other. They joke with each other. They want to spend quality time together, but they're also not fully attached in a way that is unhealthy. They can go do their own things. They have their own hobbies, their own interests. Even when they're both at the house, they are doing different things. It's not every moment together. They're supportive of their children. They're supportive of their family. They are just so great as a couple. You know, damn. Just fucking damn. It's good. Another solid couple, Bob and Linda from Bob's Burgers. Yeah, I know they're not the greatest parents. I get it. They're kind of goofy. They don't always do things right, but that's part of the charm. You're not always going to do things right. I don't do things right most of the time, but you try. And the fact that they continue to try as a couple, that they, again, support one another. They have their different interests. They work together, but, you know, Linda is going off and doing different things. Bob has his own things that he does. They have these separate lives. They haven't gotten sucked into that unfortunate thing that a lot of couples do, which is where you're unhealthily codependent, where you don't function as a solo individual and you just function as the couple. And it's because you really need desperate therapy. So much therapy. But it's okay. We're not going to talk about that. You already know, don't you? That's why you're watching YouTube videos. Anyhow, Bob and Linda also, again, they're not as great of parents as Gomez and Morticia, if you ask me, but they do try. And there's a realism there of, you're trying, it is hard, your kids are difficult, they're all so different. For what life throws at you, your kids are also throwing stuff at you, and they talk, they try and do it together. Even when they goof and they don't necessarily solve the problem right, there's still kind of a conversation that goes with it so that they can come through it together. They're lovely. They're a lovely couple. I like that one a lot. That was suggested by Oracle, my friend, who you can see her photography on mygeekglory.com. There's photography of me. The next one I have, MJ and Peter Parker. This is kind of a surprising one for me to put on here. I have not always been an MJ fan. I'm a Gwen Stacy fan. But then I reached a point in my life where I was like, why am I being a fan of different girls when they've got things to love? You know, let's just not get aggravated and pick sides. I think that that's goofy. I don't want to do that with my life. I have better things to do. MJ and Peter Parker, one of the things that recently sold me on that is the way, and this has spoilers, so if you haven't seen the latest Spider-Man movie, there's a little bit of a spoiler in here you might want to cut. But the way that they handle Tobey Maguire's Peter, you know, that he does have Mary Jane. They did end up together, and there's kind of you know, it's just very soft and sweet, and kind of having that turning moment that made me really go, oh, I do like that. Made me revisit some of the way that they are in the comics, and MJ does a lot, you know, for Peter. This is not an easy thing to do, to be with somebody that is a superhero, and you know, you are in danger, sometimes your child's in danger, the people you love are in danger because of a decision that your partner has made, and being a partner there, you communicate your needs, which I think MJ does well a lot of the time, you know, talks to Peter about things. And we're not going off of every comic, we're kind of taking the best case scenario of these things. There's always going to be reasons to go, well, but not here. Well, you know, all relationships have that. They all have moments where you go, oh, you didn't handle that super well. No shit. Try next time. But MJ does a lot for Peter, and I think Peter also at different points in the comics is very considerate of MJ and understanding that this isn't an easy thing to do, that these aren't problems that can just be solved easily. You know, there's always some wild bullshit going on, and MJ continues to choose to be there as part of the support system that is for Peter. And I think that's very sweet. Sapphire and Ruby from Steven Universe, so, you know, the Garnet. And what an awesome relationship. They complement each other well, they work together well, and then you have kind of a different approach than what we've talked about some of the other couples. They literally fuse to make Garnet, and I think that's so beautiful because I love art that a couple really in love can make together. You know, I'm a sucker for artistic couples that co-create, you know, at some point in their life together, because I think that that is such a true, awesome embodiment of your love and your care for each other. And that's kind of how I interpret Sapphire and Ruby. That Garnet is kind of this art of their love, you know, it is the fusion, it is their love embodied, and that's beautiful. And then when you do see them separate, for whatever the reason is in the episode, kind of, they continue to be so clearly caring for one another and willing to, I guess, make concessions and sacrifices and understanding again, you know, that it is a job to do together. I love relationships that work on the relationship. That's very important, because even the best relationships need work. You have to decide to do that, or it doesn't work. Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus. Easy win, wonderful couple. They're very accepting of each other. They are funny together. They make little jokes at each other. The passion is there. That continued effort to communicate is also there. You know, if you take Sailor Uranus and Neptune, when they adopt with Pluto, baby Sailor Saturn, this is a totally new thing for them, and they find a way to work as a unit, way to work as a team. They're always ready to work as a team together, and you know that they have for so long, and still can make those soft jokes and plays with each other, which again, that play, that importance on coming together even when things are hard, is really what matters in a relationship. So this is a Discovery relationship from Star Trek Discovery, which I am obsessed with. I am fucking obsessed. I love it so much. But we're going to talk about Commander Paul Stamets and Dr. Hugh Culber. I hope I said them right. I have a pronunciation problem. But that couple, one, Stamets is wonderful. 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 The actors are wonderful. The characterization is wonderful. And the fact that it is a gay masculine couple that is getting so much authentic screen time. And the fact that they are, you know, that they're gay, that they're queer, that they're together is not some cornerstone of the show. It's not something somebody has to get over. It's not this topic to just continue to go with. It is just accepted. It's not, it's normalized. And that's kind of, it's incredibly refreshing to see on TV. The way that they're tender to each other without anybody being weird, the loving softness, the authenticity. It is a great relationship. And if you're not watching Discovery, I just don't want to give you too much information, because you really should watch it. It's amazing. And then we're on our last one. Our last one is Cosmo and Wanda from Fairly Odd Parents. you know. Cosmo and Wanda, again, a literal team that complements each other's strengths, and that they, the things that could be considered weaknesses, they don't focus on, you know, like there are times Wanda gets frustrated at Cosmo or, you know, things like that, but she's not there to nag or try to change. She has made choices that make accepting him work, and I feel that Cosmo does the same. Wanda can be very Wanda, and instead of trying to change Wanda, there are ways that they just find the tools to work together. Again, a very important way for relationships to function is you have to find out where you're willing to work with the other and communicate that. And they do that very well. So that is my list of some of the best couples in all of nerdydom. I know that there's lots we could have talked about. There's plenty that you probably disagree on. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe. I'm Jessica Nova. You can follow me on You can follow me on Instagram as @thejessicanova, and you can see awesome nerdy photos of me at mygeekglory.com. You have to be 18. Check out mygeekglory.com. Find me on Instagram, again, at thejessicanova. And I'll see you around. Like, subscribe, check out the other video where I talk about the couples I think are garbage. And I'll see you soon. Bye!